Hello, folks. Jonathan Milam here, and as always, I really do hope you're having a great day. I've got three trumpets here, a little bit different than the usual. The fact of the matter is, they are all Olds recordings. I had a friend that pointed one out that was quite a distance from me, got it shipped in a couple of days ago. I'm working as a flight attendant, found one on a trip that I was on last week, brought it home too. Two of these are going to have to go bye-bye. Very sad. So I brought them out last night. I've got a fair-sized living room, was playing them there. They all sounded good. I thought surely one of them would, at least sound better than the rest. I thought they all three sounded good. Doesn't mean they'll all sound the same on the mic. In fact, one of them has a nickel silver lead pipe, and the other two have the Rayalloy lead pipe as well as the bell. Of course, that means you're not going to have to worry about red rot. Neither nickel silver is going to yield itself to red rot, nor will the bronze lead pipe. It's the yellow brass where we have the problem with that. Okay, I'm going to play all three of them, 52, 62, and 69. So what are we running the gamut there? 17 years. This is the older one, and from the LA factory before they moved to Fullerton, I believe it was. Okay, we're going to just do, I am going to use three different mouthpieces, three different songs, three different horns, so you'll get 9 clips. I'll have them listed all in a row down below. Any items that I've got for sale will be the first line under the comments. That'll take you to a link at Trumpet Herald. The thumbs up. Google loves to see those thumbs up. Appreciate that as well. So we'll start off. Give me that old time religion. Going to play this with a Mount Vernon 7C. Tremendous mouthpiece. Quite deep. And bigger than today's 7C in diameter. Don't think it's quite as big as a 5, but it is close. Big throat on this one, and it's very funny. I got a Mount Vernon with one of these horns as well. The throat's not nearly so big. The one thing that Bach is consistent about in their mouthpieces, through the years at least, has been their inconsistency, as one man said, and I would have to agree with that. This Mount Vernon, though, large throat, I think it gets a stupendous, legit sound, which I'm not used to. But we'll try it anyway. Give me that old time religion on a 1952 Olds recording, and here we go. Okay, great old song. Great old song. Had an online friend, Blaine Kelly, that would every now and then comment on my YouTube videos. And one time he said, Jonathan, I really like the fact that you play some old religious songs. And Blaine passed away from cancer just about 3 weeks ago. Really hit me hard. We'd emailed a lot. Never met the guy personally. Contacted each other. A lot of YouTube comments. When he was looking for a horn, he'd let me know. When I was looking for a horn, I'd let him know. Great guy, and just thought about him a lot the last few days. Blaine, hope you enjoy the religious numbers still. Okay, we're going to do the 1962 Olds recording, and I'll point out just a couple of differences after I've played them a little bit more. Same song, same mouthpiece, the old Mount Vernon 7C. Okay, and now we will try the 69 Olds recording. I think it is. And if you might have noticed, I was changing this mouthpiece around. I'm not really a sensitive player. I know I've had friends that said, Arturo, if you watch it, he clocks his mouthpiece. He gets it at a certain place. I've tried that and really hadn't noticed any difference. Some guys do. A friend of mine has. But this one has a big dent in where I'm putting the top of the mouthpiece. I play way too much on my bottom lip, and if I put it down there, I can really feel it. So I try and always get that big dent in the top of the mouthpiece on this. And I'm going to send this off to Matt Frost. I'm going to have him take this old rim off, and I've got a better Bach rim that I'm going to have put on here. I'm not concerned with keeping the value of this Mount Vernon. I just want it to play the way that I want it to. Okay, this again is the 69 Olds recording, and after this I'll try and show you a couple of differences in the models as they pass through the years. One of the differences I mentioned before, this is the only one that has the nickel silver lead pipe. I do notice that this one has a slightly brighter sound, no doubt because of that. Boy, that big mouthpiece, I have to really try and be conscious to sit up straight and support well. It's just a little larger mouthpiece than I'm used to. Okay, essentially these horns did not change a whole lot. The later version, most all of them I believe, had the nickel silver lead pipe, and interestingly enough, I've got a little recording cornet here, and same thing. You get the nickel silver lead pipe, and I intentionally went for an older recording because the older model cornets have the trigger on what is actually part of the bell. So you get the whole horn tuning device here, which is definitely a nice feature to my way of thinking. Okay, one thing that I did notice when I was looking at these horns as I was looking down at them, the bell bead on the older 52 is considerably larger than the 69. And in fact, if you look at them, it appears that the 62 has a slightly smaller bell bead, and then the 69, what am I getting tangled up here? The 69 has an even smaller bell bead. Whatever, they do sound pretty similar. Now, the only other thing that I noticed of significance was on the later models, they do not have the dump slide. And the 52, if you can see here, you see the cut mark, very, very small, but it is there. This has a dump slide, which is stuck, and it's stuck on the 62 as well. I have had this one apart for cleaning, and I can't believe I didn't address that when I had it apart, but nonetheless I did not. Also, the newer one has got really pretty, I guess that's abalone finger buttons. Should you do that to an Olds recording? Well, I don't know, but they did it. But at any rate. And also, you can see it's not really a difference, I don't believe, in quality of ralloy or bronze, as the horn trader calls it, but this has got some lacquer still on it. This is the 52, and this is the 69, where the lacquer has most likely been removed because it is extremely uniform. Okay, and this has got the lovely Olds Recording logo on it. The older one has got the block letters, which I do like, if you can see that. Olds, you see they're in large letters, and then kind of a semi-oval recording down underneath that. Bracing appears to be the same on most all of them. None of the trim, finger buttons, or anything like that seem to have altered. Now, one thing also, if you look real closely at the valve block, seems like the upper baluster part there is a little more barrel-shaped, where on this one, it's a little more straight. It does appear to be a two-piece valve block, nickel-silver. Don't want to drop this. Nickel-silver, of course, where my thumb is, brass underneath, but quite a straight valve block and a little more barrel-shaped on both the 62 and the 69. And of course, we'll hold those up again to each other. You can see kind of barrel-shaped on this one here, and then, or excuse me, a little more straight on the 52, and then the 62 and 69 just a little bit more barrel-shaped on the upper baluster part. Oh, Olds. What fine horns. Okay, next thing I'm going to play, I think I'll try and play a relatively legit number. A question whether I can actually do that or not. I do tend to swing things. This is a wonderful mouthpiece, a little smaller, which is why I've taken some time between them with my comments. This is a GR64MX, medium X, extra deep. I thought it was pretty deep till I got this Mount Vernon 7C, which is really deep. But we'll try the old classic, Savior Like a Shepherd Lead Us. And we will begin with the 1952 Olds recording. Great old song. And as I think of it, both of these songs were played by Phil Driscoll, who was an early influence. I heard him when I was about 16 or 17 years old, was playing French horn in high school, and immediately started playing the trumpet in church, because who wouldn't want to sound like Phil Driscoll? I think it was called A Touch of Trumpet, a record that he put out when he was about 17, which is a few years earlier than that. And tremendous player. He played with the Stockholm Symphony. And you can find that actually if you'll Google or search for it at YouTube. Both doing Give Me That Old Time Religion and Savior Like a Shepherd Lead Us. Phil Driscoll does it a little better than I do. Okay, we're going to play the 62 Olds recording here with the GR64 mouthpiece. Well, I'm struggling a little bit acclimating from that larger mouthpiece diameter to this smaller mouthpiece. Okay, one other thing I did want to notice, this 69 Olds recording has got two spots where there are marks. Right here, there is definitely a little bit of wear, and there is another area right there. I don't know if the person wore rings and just, held his hand there and, buffered it down a little bit. Not quite so noticeable there, but definitely interesting. It certainly shows now with the, shiny bronze or rayalloy. Rest of the horn is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Little dent along the bell. You can see it there, just a little depressed area. Some dingage here on the first slide. Certainly looks worse there. A little bit, I think, on the second slide. But all things told, not bad for a horn from 69. Okay, we'll play that horn with the same song, Savior Like a Shepherd Lead Us, with the GR64 MX mouthpiece. All right, some fine trumpets. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is MacArthur Park. And one of my friends said, "Hey, you played MacArthur Park on a video." And I said, "Yeah." It was only an octave lower than Wayne Bergeron. Truth be told. Okay, this is a great Monette mouthpiece, quite shallow, but still gets a good tone with that large throat. And if you're going to use this, and I really think these old recordings will do it all. I think you get a nice legit sound with the Mount Vernon 7C. I think you get a very passable sound that will cut through with the Monette mouthpiece. Of course, you can be the judge, and we'll try at least part of MacArthur Park, get you above the staff at least a little bit, if you were wondering what these would sound like with in a lead situation. Okay, and this is the 52 Olds recording. Okay, we will try that as well with the recording from 69. Now this, I have to say, of all of them, has probably got, I do notice at certain angles, it's funny, I would try to take a picture of it, saw the same thing, looks really badly discolored, but in the hand, that logo is so pretty. And I think this has more of the original lacquer on it than any of the horns. In fact, so much so, when I first saw it, I said, that's supposed to be a bronze bell. And only after I got it in the room, I think it is a bronze bell, but it's just got a beautiful honey brown lacquer on it. Certainly a pretty horn. All right, same thing, the 62 MacArthur Park with the Monette mouthpiece. The other thing is, the Mount Vernon 7C, of course, has the old metal rim. And then I like this Delrin real well. But when you go smaller with the Delrin, there's not much place for your lips to slide around. It does stick a little better to them. While I find it to be more comfortable, when I am experiencing a larger mouthpiece that's metal, and then you get a smaller one that's Delrin, I should have put a metal rim on this just so I could play it with a little more comfort. Okay, we'll try the 69 Olds recording with the Monette mouthpiece. Now again, this one has got the nickel silver lead pipe here, where the older two had the bronze or rayalloy lead pipe. Really does, of course, nickel silver is definitely going to give you a brighter sound. But again, with each of these, nickel silver or the bronze rayalloy, you're not going to have that deterioration, the red spots, the red rot that you would get with a light yellow brass metal. Okay, well folks, hope you've enjoyed this. It's just always nice to have a good horn and to have three horns like this. And I did tell my wife when I got home, I said, and my brother-in-law, I said, you know, it's funny, for years I'd had several supers, which you can get cheap because there's just so many of them around. I'd had several specials, which I really liked. Got an Ambassador once that was about 51 or so from the old LA factory. Fantastic player. And I never had the money for the recording because they usually are a little more expensive. But I was lucky with these three to pick them up at a fair price. And although two of them will have to hit the road, I'm going to keep at least one, hopefully. But just a delight to have three of them, the 52, 62, and 69 as well. Hope you've enjoyed this. Love the comments. And as always, do take care of yourself and someone near you.